now Oklahoma Congressman Tom Cole, former chairman of the National Republican Congressional Committee. Congressman, you are clearly very happy about Reince Priebus, but how much say is he really going to have? Stephen Bannon is not reporting to him, and Mr. Bannon has been called one of the most dangerous operatives in the country, many people crediting Stephen Bannon with this shocking win of Donald Trump. How concerned are you?
Well, frankly, not very. Honestly, I used to work for a governor, and I can tell you the person who sets the policies and makes the decision will be the chief executive of the United States, in this case, Donald Trump. And I think, the two appointments matched together go a long way to saying, look, it's going to be an inclusive administration from a conservative Republican standpoint, obviously, and we're going to have a lot of different voices around the table. But the decision maker is ultimately the president. He sets the tone, and I have to say, since Tuesday night, frankly, President-elect Trump's tone has been pitch perfect.
Well, you are also a big supporter of Paul Ryan. Throughout the election, you can't say that Paul Ryan was a huge fan of Donald Trump. Now the GOP and other members of the Republican Party are very enthusiastic behind this Trump win. Is the enthusiasm you have behind Donald Trump as president-elect, or is it more about having control of the White House, the Senate, Congress, the whole shebang?
Well, I think it's both. But frankly, if Mr. Trump weren't successful, the odds of getting much of our legislation through, wouldn't have been very good. We saw what it was like with the Republican House and Senate. We got bill after bill to the president's desk, but they were invariably vetoed, whether it was the Keystone Pipeline or the repeal of Obamacare. So obviously, we're not going to have a situation like that. We've got an opportunity to make dramatic progress, and frankly, I think the American people will demand it. If we don't deliver, we'll pay a price for it ourselves down the road.
The American people did vote for Donald Trump, but many people of influence said that Donald Trump was highly unqualified for the job. What did Donald Trump know about the American people that the GOP didn't? You didn't see Mitt Romney win. Many other prominent Republicans have struggled. What did Donald Trump tap into that other members of the Republican Party didn't see coming?
Well, I think first he's got a very good feel for just how average Americans live and feel. I mean, this guy spends a lot of time on construction sites that employs tens of thousands of people, and they're everything from chefs in the kitchen to people taking in your luggage to people magnificent resort. So he sort of knows the spectrum of America better than a lot of politicians do, I suspect. Finally, to be fair, he wasn't running against Barack Obama, who's a pretty good politician himself. The President of the United States is the first guy since Eisenhower to break 50% of the popular vote twice. And that's not being disrespectful to Secretary Clinton. She ran a strong campaign, but, she was following literally a Hall of Fame political figure in terms of campaigns. So, I think the Democratic lineup wasn't quite as good as we've had in the past, and frankly, ours had a better feel for the election and the mood than we've had in the past.
Hillary Clinton knows politics. She knows Washington. Donald Trump got a lot of criticism because when he asked President Obama how many jobs he could fill, how many jobs would turn over, he was surprised when the president said 4,000. I've got to admit, I was surprised. How is it that we can run a successful White House when every 4 to 8 years, every single job gets turned over? Businesses couldn't run like that.
Well, actually, there's a lot more jobs in the federal government than 4,000. It's an entity that employs millions, not thousands. So 4,000 in the context of the total workforce is not a lot.
But should they all get turned over with every new administration?
Yeah, and these are political appointments. These are not civil service jobs. You know when you take a job like this that you serve at the pleasure of the president, and when the president changes, your job will change. So nobody in these 4,000 jobs are surprised. And frankly, some of those 4,000 are reasons why Donald Trump won. I mean, a lot of them are regulators and people that were effectively issuing executive orders with the cooperation, obviously, of the president that were very unpopular. So the American people voted not just to change the president, they voted to change the direction of the federal bureaucracy as well. Those 4,000 people are pretty important to allow any president to exert his will in the agencies that, frankly, are supposed to be under his authority.
All right, Congressman. American sure thinks, I'd like to believe there's less partisan people who just want to have a government that works. Congressman, thanks so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
All right, I've got some